Hi everyone, Sarah with Multifarious Nature, owner and creator. Thank you for joining me again today. If you're new, please subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications, if you like what I'm talking about and what you see. That way you're notified when there's new content. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And I am sorry about the video if it comes in and out color-wise. We've got some clouds coming through, and at the moment I have sun, so I'm trying to get this in as quickly and efficiently as possible. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to start with a shop update today. So I have a lot of new items. I've been dyeing like crazy again, which is awesome, and I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. So I have more of some items that are currently in the shop, but maybe it's a different base. And then I have some brand new colors, so very exciting. So the first one is a fingering weight. Most of my yarn's fingering weight. I just happen to love fingering weight. It's very versatile. It does sometimes take longer to make pieces, but I just love it. I love the weight of it, the drape. Fingering weight is my weight of choice. So this is a fingering. This is a different base, I think, than I've used yet. So another new base. It's exciting. So this is a merino silk. So it's 80-20. So it's 80% superwash merino and 20% silk. So it's very soft. It's a 2-ply. So because it's a 2-ply, I don't know if you can kind of appreciate this from this, but you definitely can see it in the photos. It's a much more defined twist going on here. And that gives it kind of a plumpness. So when you do make your stitches, they're more visible and it gives some great stitch definition. And so I'm going to show you that because I do have a high twist. It's a BFL high twist in one of my projects. So you can kind of see that. So I'll do that after shop update. So this is Brunhilde's hair. And this is now in, it's 600 yards and it is 150 grams. And I'll have these specs as well on the website if you want to like a refresher of what these are. All right, next, a new color. I kind of talked about this color in one of my projects and now I've made more of it. So this is White Pine is the name that I decided to go with. It is a green and it's just a gorgeous, this is what I would think of as a Christmassy green if I wanted a Christmassy green. It's not a traditional green. You know, it's a little, it's darker. It's not like a grass green. It's darker. It's reading pretty appropriately here. This is definitely better than the photos. I feel like the photos are a little more blue in color than this. So I actually have two bases for this. So I did White Pine in, this is a BFL silk sock. So super soft. This is also a sock fingering weight, kind of similar weight. It's 55% superwash BFL. Blueface Lancaster, and 45% silk. So this is 438 yards for 100 grams. This has a nice sheen to it. You can definitely see that in the photos as well, which makes it look lighter in color. It's the exact same color mix. I did it in the exact same dye lot. So this is the exact same color. It just reads slightly differently, a little bit lighter because of the sheen. But when you see them next to each other, you'll see they do look a lot alike. So this is the same color. But this is your Peruvian, 100% Peruvian Highland wool. So this is that more rustic wool. So it absorbs the color and it does not have that same silk property that this has. So it looks slightly darker, it reads darker. But it's the exact same dye lot. I dyed these together in the same dye bath. So you can see it just reads differently. So your more rustic wools are gonna look a little bit darker, slightly. So the Peruvian wool is 459 yards for 100 grams. So 459, and this is 438. This is definitely a squishier, fluffier, that's that rustic, more rustic wool. So that is, again, that's White Pine. That's a brand new colorway. Next, I have Oceans Deep, which is one that I've just now have in another base. So currently I believe I have it in that Peruvian wool on the website, but now I have the alpaca blend, which is the 20-60-20. It's 20% superfine alpaca, 60% superwash merino, and 20% nylon. This is just like a little tie that's holding the yarn in the hank, but you can see this is again, it's a nice tonal. Love this. I love this color. It's so pretty. So this is Oceans Deep. It's very soft. You can feel that alpaca and that nylon. And superwash merino is very soft too. So it's just, ooh, it's a nice soft wool. So that's Oceans Deep. And, oh, I did forget to mention, it's 437 yards for 100 grams. Next, more new colors. I'm so excited. I love this color. So fall is warm color season, right? Those of us that like deeper and warm colors. So this is Cranberry. So Cranberry, and this is on a 100% superwash merino base. This is, again, one of my larger bases. So it is, and it's a 6-ply. So you have 6 strands that are twisted together in this. And that's 822 yards at 150 grams. This is a larger skein. And this is Cranberry. It's a like really warm red. I just love it. Love, love, love it. I guess you could say it's semi-brick colored. It's definitely, oh, I just love it. And this, I feel like, would just look so great with this pine, white pine. Don't you agree? I just feel like that's gonna make a really nice winter sweater. I love it. All right, and the next color that is in the exact same base. So this is, again, that 100% superwash merino at 822 yards for 150 grams. And this is Teddy. So this is a nice neutral. You've got this kind of a little bit of a salmon, kind of a light brown coloring. And then you've got brown running through there as well. This is Teddy. Which, again, another one that would look, in my opinion, amazing with Cranberry. Doesn't that look so pretty? Oh, that just reminds me of fall so much. With all the leaves here in Michigan, this is speaking fall to me. I love it. I love it. All right, and of course, I could not get through my update without finally, I'm sorry it took 2 weeks, but here we go. Multifarious Nature. I finally dyed up skeins for you guys. So this is the Multifarious Nature, which is one of my favorites. All right, so it is on that BFL silk sock, so 55% superwash blue-faced Lancaster, and 45% silk at 438 yards for 100 grams. You've got this nice deep red in here. You'll have some purples. There's this deep navy, and then the green, which the green in here is very, very similar to white pine. So again, this would be an amazing combination. I also should have brought it with me, but I also think Multifarious Nature would look amazing with one of the other colorways that I have in the shop. And Balsam Fir, good grief, drawing a blank. Balsam Fir would also look great with this, which I used in my other previous shawl that's in one of my other videos. So there you go. So Multifarious Nature. I just have a couple skeins of these in the shop right now. So if you love it or you want it in a different base, please let me know. I am trying to get in other bases in a lot of these colors dyed up, but you know, it just takes time, and I'm doing it when I can. So if you do want something, just let me know, and it may take me about a week to get it dyed up, but I will, and then you can have it for your own. And if you can see behind me here, see the pile of yarn? I've been dyeing a lot. I'm so excited. I love it, I love it, I love it. Anyway, more shop updates. So I have another progress keeper. I made a couple of these. So this is agate, and it has this little kind of a coppery bead at the bottom, but they're little agate progress keepers. I just have a couple of those, and again, it has that little lobster clasp. So there's a couple of those in the shop. And an analog row counter. I have some new ones in the shop. And again, I have just a couple of each of these. So this is a beautiful light purple, like lavender color glass bead, and like a smoky crystal glass bead at the bottom. And then we have a little rose. You can see that, but you'll see this better in photos, that's for sure. But it has like a carved rose in the metal. So that is one of my analog progress keeper, analog row counter. That's gonna be in the shop, and I'll have a couple of those. And then I also just have a couple of this one. This is some beautiful blue glass beads, and has a little copper bead at the end. And then this fun little metal etched, which some design in there, you can see. And I'll get, you know, photos of these up as well so you can see the detail even better. So those are analog row counters. Again, you just take your little progress keeper basically that comes with, and you don't need this until you are at 11 rows. So without that, you count up to 10 rows. Then you put this in when you're in the 10th place. So then you can go 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 onward. And then when you hit 20, struggling. You know, then you move it to the 2, and then that's your 21, 22, 23, all the way down, and you can get up to 100 rows counting with this. And then you can go on past 100 rows, but it can only count 100 rows. Then you'd have to make a note, you know, that now you're at 200, you know, and so on and so forth. Awesome, fun tool, and it looks pretty on your work, you know. Fun stuff. Okay, so now on to my works in progress. I have been a super monogamous knitter. I am a very monogamous knitter. I'm trying to expand so that I have more to show you guys, but I'm pretty monogamous. I usually do one project at a time just because I really want to finish it so I can use it. So I have been working hardcore on my Dandra Shawl. So I finally got into my green. So this is my winter. Good grief, I tell you. It's been one of those weeks. White pine. This is my white pine. This is on that 100% superwash merino. So these are 3 different bases that this color is on. So you can kind of see how they just look different, a little different. Similar, but different. It's the tonality that I feel like looks different, same color. So I did make some major progress. Unfortunately, my progress keeper is, at this point, more of a right side keeper. So I have it on my right side, so I can keep track of the right side and the wrong side of the shawl, because the pattern, you really do need to keep track of that because it is a free-form shawl. So as you can see, this is where I was last week, you know, in this area. And I've basically just been doing these free-form rhombus. I think that's what they call, like a rhombus. They're all these little sections basically that I'm making. So I'm running out of my blue, my Ocean's Deep, and I only allowed myself one skein for this project. So I am just doing a portion on this side that is the Ocean's Deep, and now this is totally me. The pattern itself is for one color scheme, as you can see in this picture. But it's a tonal. I want to say it's a tonal. And I decided I wanted to do tonals, but I didn't want to use more than one skein of my Ocean's Deep. So I decided to integrate another color, which is my white pine. And so what I'm doing is every 2 rows in these sections, I'm doing the Ocean's Deep and then the white pine as a transition. And then at the far end, I'm going to do, I think it's 2 sections that I did. Yeah, 2 sections that I did in Ocean's Deep. I'm going to do 2 sections of white pine, and then it'll, look symmetrical. And then the bottom section, because by then I definitely probably will be out of the Ocean's Deep, I'm going to be doing, there's like this large section here, like edging, and that's going to all be in the white pine. So kind of excited to see how that turns out. I am loving this, the way it's looking right now. I think that is turning out so pretty, in my opinion. I love it. And I love playing with color. So I don't mind mixing this up a little bit, and I'm comfortable with the way it's going to turn out. It's okay to me, but maybe you're not comfortable with that and you just want to do it all one solid color. I really am loving this pattern. And you can see this is that BFL High Twist, which is a 2-ply. You can really see that stitch definition. It's a much fluffier yarn versus that 100% superwash merino. And I think you can really not only see it in the pattern, but just looking at the stitching here, or the yarn. If you look at the yarn, this is much fluffier looking, and then you've got the superwash merino. It's the exact same weight of yarn. These are both fingering weight. They just look a little different because of the way they are. This is a 6-ply, 2-ply, fluffier, tighter. So really looking nice, loving it. And it's been so much fun to knit, because you just go down, you go like this, you're knitting the rows like that. So you can see I'm in the midst of a rhombus, and this one has a nice lace detail. You can see that. There's a lace detail in it. So this is great for learning. I'm loving German short rows. I see why people like that over the wrap and turn. I had done the wrap and turn, but oh yeah, loving German short rows. I think to me, it is much faster. And that's how you're doing these rhombus. You're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then you get to the next one, and you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's not like you're going straight across the entire shawl. So that's what I mean by like free form. You're creating these little formations throughout it. So this is really fun. I like intricate things that are, I guess, slightly more complicated. I probably will want to like have a palette cleanser, as they call it, but it keeps me interested. Even though I love knitting, period, but it just keeps me interested. So this is a new pattern. I'm thinking this is what I'm gonna do, because I've got these awesome yarn from my mom. These are those yarns she's had for, gosh, I don't know, 36 years maybe, at least, and they hadn't been used. And she likes working with her loom, so that's where she intended for these, was for her loom weaving. But I'm going to do something with them now, so I'm excited. I have odd amounts of each. They're all different amounts of each. This one I think actually is 100 grams, but these two are just they're not 100 grams. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, but I think I am going to use those in this pattern. This is a free pattern, and I don't think it has the designer on here, so sorry about that. Nope, no designer. It's on Ravelry, so if you look up slippers, If you look up this name, you'll probably find it. It's a free pattern, and it's called Bees Slippers. So they look like socks, but they have this really cool design going on. It almost looks like webbing. I think it looks so cool, and it looks like they're using a worsted weight. I think that's what, yeah, worsted. So it's a heavier, you know, medium. It's like the weight you usually, if you go to the store, that for medium weight is like worsted weight. So that's usually what you get at this, like, your general store for yarn. This, I would say, it's like between worsted and maybe Aran weight. I'm not well versed with the like heavier weights of yarn, so I apologize if I'm totally wrong. But I'd say this is getting closer to like a worsted Aran weight. Like it's definitely a heavier yarn than like your fingering weight. Look how much thinner that is. So I wanted to do something fun with this. I knew I couldn't do a sweater because I just don't feel like I can wear this next to my face, this color. So I was gonna do like mittens or slippers or socks. I just feel like this is gonna be so toasty and warm. It's gonna be more of a sock that I would just slip on to keep my feet warm. So that's why I decided to do slippers. And they're like slipper socks. And I don't know if it shows it in here. No, but on the on Ravelry, it shows like a shorter cuff. So you can do like really short cuffs. This is a longer cuff. It's completely based on the amount of yarn that you have. And in the description, she even said, you know, by the way, if you have really random amounts of yarn, this is a great pattern for you to use. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna give that a shot and we'll see what happens. So that's another project I'm gonna start at some point. I'm gonna try really hard, because I am just addicted to this Dandra Shawl. I am loving it, loving it, loving it. So that's why I don't even have my sweater. I'm not even gonna show you that this week because I didn't work on it at all. I did not pick it up at all, that poor sweater. I really want to though, because now it's getting much cooler outside. I don't know how it is by you where you're at in the world here, but in Michigan, it is definitely fall outside. The colors are changing. The trees are beautiful. We have fire maples in our front yard, and they're getting that. I'm looking at them right now. They have a really beautiful burnt red color on the top, and they're such beautiful trees. But it's so sad because, I mean, right now, thank goodness, it's just at the top. But it's like once it hits, the whole thing will turn this gorgeous orange color, orange red color, and then the leaves just drop and then they're gone. And it's just sad when that happens because I can't look at them anymore. And I love looking at them. They're so beautiful. Anyway, fall. Such a beautiful time of year, but it's so short. I feel like it's just a couple weeks in Michigan usually. And then boom, it's winter. Forever. It feels like forever when it hits winter. So I hope you guys are doing great, staying healthy, and definitely creating. And I am just so excited to show you guys all this new yarn. I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun. And I hope that, you know, where you are, you're doing things that bring you joy and maybe bring others joy as well, if you can help share your creativity. And during all this chaos, this has definitely helped ease the stress, and yeah, I'm just excited. So I'll talk to you guys later, and hope you have a great rest of your weekend.